And good afternoon, sports fans. You're listening to WCBN. Once again, Zach Shaw here on broadcasting duty, pulling a little bit of double duty today. I was over at Alumni Field as Michigan softball took down Rutgers 8-0 in just 4.5 innings. And, well, Michigan baseball, just a stone's throw away, looking to do the same here against Rutgers. There's no run rule in college baseball, but Michigan is up 8-5 on the Scarlet Knights. It's been a bit of a sloppy game, but Michigan is on top so far. On senior day, we just honored softball seniors over at Alumni Field, but now we've got baseball seniors as well. Baseball honoring 6 seniors who have been part of quite a regrowth of Michigan baseball. That's been pretty impressive to watch as someone who has covered the team for 3 seasons. Michigan looking to take care of Rutgers, and that's one heck of a foul ball by Jake Bivens, who is 1 for 2 today with a run, also has a hit by pitch, just to try to catch you up to speed. We'll get you some box scores now, but Michigan is up 8-5, has 2 runners on. In the bottom of the 5th inning, Jake Bivens at the plate. Next pitch he sees bounces away, so both runners will advance. And I'll do my best to catch you up to speed. That is Engelman and Thomas on 2nd and 3rd now. Bivens up for the 4th time today. Michigan up 8-4. Just to give you some home stats, Michigan hitting 10 for 21. Has also reached base 3 times via walk, 2 times via hit by pitch. So nice job by the Wolverines so far. Looking to add to their 8-5 lead. And they've already been through 2 pitchers as Evan Hill, Mac Loser came in. And Engelman advances home on a pass ball. He will score, and that'll make it 9-5 Wolverines. So Michigan continuing its success against Rutgers. In the first 2 games of the series, they outscored the Scarlet Knights 27-2. You can't ask for a whole lot more than that if you're Michigan. Michigan now just 1 game back in the Big Ten lead, looking to capture its first regular season Big Ten title since 2008. Obviously, last season they won the Big Ten tournament title in Minneapolis to advance to the NCAA tournament for the first time in 7 years. Michigan has 35 Big Ten titles in its storied 150-year history. And that history was being celebrated yesterday with the 150th anniversary festival. They had moved it inside out of fear of rain, but still was a fun event nonetheless. Lots of games, lots of history, and that's really what Michigan baseball is all about. Bivens still at the plate with a 2-2 count, and Thomas on third base. That pitch is laced foul on the third base side into the mesh above Michigan's dugout. Michigan looking to sweep Rutgers. Cruising right now with the 33-12 record. And Bivens laces that one into center field. Thomas will score easily. And so Bivens now 2 for 3 on the day. He's continuing an impressive season. A very likely all Big Ten player, perhaps even Big Ten Player of the Year. He's a long shot for that. But his ERA now hovering close to 400. And Michigan gets its 10th run of the game, so they're up 10-5. And Rutgers having another tough day. The starter, Brito, went 3 innings pitched, gave up 7 hits and 4 earned runs. 6 runs total. So Rutgers has an error today. Michigan has 4 errors today. So as I said, bit of a sloppy game, 5 errors total. But Michigan tagged Brito for 6 runs. And then Driscoll came in for 1 inning pitch, and he gave up 4 runs, 2 of which here in the 6th inning where he was unable to record an out. As for Michigan's pitching, has fared better, but still hasn't been necessarily an expert. Evan Hill came on. We were wondering who would be the Sunday starter. Evan Hill had his name called for the 2nd Sunday in a row, but he struggled a little bit. Gave up 4 runs, 2 of which were earned in 4 innings pitched, 5 hits, and 2 walks. Michigan offense still in good position. Mac Loser came in for 2/3 of an inning pitched. Didn't give up a run. Faced 4 batters before yielding to Ryan Newtoff, who most likely will be the Sunday starter moving forward. Michigan has 2 more weekend series at Illinois and at Ohio State. And Newtoff came in to end the top of the 5th inning. Able to face 1 batter and get 1 strikeout. So he's looking good on the mound through 1 batter. And we'll have a new pitcher for Rutgers. It's going to be Herman. Max Herman enters the game with a 291 earned run average, so pretty good numbers. Has 5 starts in the season, so he's been mixing time in and out. Only 21 2/3 innings pitched. Has allowed 7 runs and 22 hits. A big sore spot might be the 15 walks that he's allowed. 15 walks compared to 17 strikeouts. And if you're Rutgers, you really hope he brings more of the strikeouts than the walks. They need a lot of control as Michigan's offense continuing to roll. They've now scored 37 runs, and we haven't even played 3 whole games this weekend. That'll bring up Matt Ramsey. Popped out to shortstop in the 1st inning, but then drove in a run with a hit by pitch in the 2nd, and he walked and came around to score in the 4th inning. So Michigan's bats getting it done, whether it's via base hit or elsewhere. They have 10 runs on 11 hits. So 11 hits you like, 10 runs, more than you would expect out of that many hits. But they'll take it nonetheless. You're listening to the WCBN Sports Broadcast. Zach Shaw here with his 2nd broadcast of the day. We saw softball take down Rutgers 8-0. And now the baseball Wolverines looking to sweep the Scarlet Knights as well. Bivens on first. Could be a stolen base threat. He's done it before, leadoff hitter. But obviously with Matt Ramsey's bat, as performing as well as it has the past couple weeks, his batting average has climbed to 296 on base percentage at 398. So you might want to let him go, especially with the left-handed Herman. And Ramsey drives that one to left field, but it's going to be caught. That was Bowerbank. Line drive. If it had been at a different angle, perhaps down the line or to the left or right center field, perhaps could have been extra bases, had some good power on it. Nonetheless, Bowerbank, the left fielder, able to catch it. And Carmen Benedetti steps up to the plate. He's having a good day. He's 2 for 3, 3 RBIs, and obviously had that 2-run home run in the 4th to help break the game open. Has the opportunity to do so even more so, with Michigan leading 10-5 here on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. It's Mother's Day. If you haven't celebrated yet, we recommend you do so. And Benedetti drives that one to left field. Bowerbank running to come get it. Died early. That wind might have taken it down. And he'll be on with a stand-up double. Bivens had to kind of read the ball first off the bat. It wasn't an obvious out, so he only advances to 3rd. But it's one of those ones that looked like it was going to go deep off the bat. Bowerbank even took the first couple steps back before closing in as the wind has calmed down, but has been really all over the place today. And it's heading toward that left field foul line if it's doing anything. So it killed that ball and sent it to the left field line out of Bowerbank's reach. And Michigan, once again, 2 runners in scoring position. They've already scored 2 runs in this inning, looking for 2 more as Harrison Wenson steps up to the plate. He's had a quiet day. His batting average once loomed closer to 370, 380. It's now down to 339. He's 0 for 3 today. Really the only sore spot. Ramsey 0 for 2, but he's scored. Wenson, the only player to not reach base for the Wolverines. Everyone else has a hit. He's 0 for 3. He grounded into a double play and struck out twice. Despite being Michigan's best hitter, had a tough time in the first few innings. Has a chance to redeem himself now, though. Runners on 2nd and 3rd. First pitch on Wenson in there for a strike. Not quite the crowd that softball drew, but still a decent crowd nonetheless. Beautiful day for a baseball game here at Ray Fisher Stadium. The 0-1 pitch outside on Wenson. As we mentioned, Herman not always in control on the mound. Does have 15 walks in 22 innings pitched. But his earned run average is 286. His walks and hits per inning pitch just 173, so he can get the job done. The 1-1 pitch high and outside on Wenson. Wenson hitting .441 with runners in scoring position. He likes to be in that position. 2 doubles, 1 triple, 6 home runs on the season for Wenson, having a breakout season. As Rutgers softball team files into the stadium, they have to travel home with the baseball team. Both teams have been dominated through 2 days so far. Softball fared no better on Sunday, losing 8-0. You can listen to that broadcast on our YouTube channel. But they have to travel home together. Baseball team trying to avoid it being an 0-6 weekend as Wenson sends that one deep. It's going to be killed by the wind, though. Bowerbank able to catch it. Going for home. Going to be no play at the plate. Bivens gets home with a sacrifice fly, and Michigan now leads 11-5. The offensive outpouring continues for the Wolverines. They now lead 11-5 off the bat, and a sacrifice fly of Harrison Wenson. On the play, Carmen Benedetti, not necessarily the fleetest of foot, stayed put. Don't think he was looking to tag up. That will bring up Cody Bruder, who's 1 for 2 today. Bruder, one of 6 seniors being honored, just like Ramsey, one of 2 seniors being honored, despite them not having played all 4 years here at Michigan. Bruder transferred. He laces that one into left field. Benedetti rounding third, but he's going to be held up. So nice base hit by Bruder on the first pitch of the at-bat. Michigan once again getting a 2-out rally started. They already have 3 runs in this inning, looking for another as Drew Lugbauer steps up to the plate. Cody Bruder improves on his .370 batting average this season. Gets his 3rd hit of the game. And Lugbauer, just like Bruder, having about as good a day as you could ask for. He has 3 singles, 2 runs, in 3 at-bats. He gets another one. Michigan will extend its lead. Herman trying to get out of this inning. That ball's driven. It looks like it's going to go foul on the left field side as it bounces out of play and onto the roof of Michigan's clubhouse. Lugbauer hitting .325 on the season. That certainly improved today. .306 with runners in scoring position, .295 with 2 outs. On base percentage of .424. Has a little bit of power with a .519 slugging percentage. Second pitch on Lugbauer inside, ball 1. If you're just joining us, you're listening to the Michigan baseball broadcast done by WCBN Sports, the official student voice of Michigan athletics. Michigan up 11-5 on the Scarlet Knights, looking to add to it. Third pitch on Lugbauer outside, make it a 2-1 count. Things are just about wrapping up at Alumni Field. Just to clean up duty now. Michigan clinched its 9th consecutive Big Ten title, and that ball's skied by Lugbauer. It looks like it's not going to have the distance to create any damage, and it is caught by Marcinzik. Didn't get a chance to look at the pronunciation guide, headed right here from Alumni Field, but he's able to make the catch and end the 5th inning. Michigan does get 3 runs, though. They lead 11-5 on Rutgers. They've now scored 38 runs in about 2.5 games. Haven't even played 3 whole games. They are dominating.
Are you ready? Get set and go.
And Michigan, perhaps in the next couple innings, might start to work some more of their seniors in. As we said, they're honoring 6 seniors today.
It looks like
they're having a good season so far, the Wolverines are. even though a lot of their help has come from underclassmen, the seniors, some of which still under the Rich Maloney era when they came here. But obviously we saw Cody Bruder in that inning. Matt Ramsey, we also saw. Both transfers from elsewhere. Evan Hill got the start. Did all right. 2 earned runs in 4 innings, but 4 total runs. Put Michigan in dangerous territory, so Michigan went to the bullpen early. But Evan Hill had one heck of a career here as a Wolverine. Cam Wysocki, the right-handed pitcher. I'd expect we see him later on in this game, getting one final time on the mound. Dominic Jamette, he's worked his way into the starting lineup as of late. The veteran, once cut from the Wolverines, once a walk-on, now one of the team captains. Yes, as we said, 6 seniors, all looking to get action today. But for now, it'll be the sophomore Newtoff on the mound. It's a .218 batting average, or excuse me, earned run average, a 127 whip, walks and hits per innings pitched. He has 36 strikeouts in 45 1/3 innings pitched. His first opponent, who fouls the second pitch of the at-bat away to even the count at 1, is Milo Freeman. Has a .205 batting average, but is .354 when leading off the inning. The 1-1 pitch, skied, foul. Make a play out of it. Unable to do so as that one soars. As we said, the wind blowing toward the left field line. So that one's sent out of play. And it's a 1-2 count on Freeman. Freeman with a strikeout in the second and a pop out in the fourth. That one's fouled into the stands. Nearly a nice catch by one of the fans here at Ray Fisher Stadium. As we said, not the largest crowd, a little smaller than you'd expect given the weather and how good the team is, but a decent one nonetheless. Fifth pitch on Freeman, a ball to even the count at 2. Newtoff with the 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. And he got him swinging. Freeman goes down and heads toward the Rutgers dugout. Newtoff has faced 2 batters and got 2 strikeouts. That'll bring up the 9-hitter, Bowerbank, who's 1 for 2 today. Newtoff working quickly. The first pitch of the at-bat is grounded. That one's going to break through for a base hit. It bounces off of K.O. Thompson's glove, but can hardly blame him. He was fully laid out for that play, although he's beaten himself up a little bit for it. He thought he could have had a web gem play. Bounces off his glove and into right field. So Bowerbank reaches with his second base hit of the game. That'll bring up the top of the order for Rutgers, trying to chip into the 6-run deficit they have been sported. As Newtoff attempts a pickoff over to first base. They've already got Bowerbank listed at second base, so perhaps a generous thought by the scorekeepers. Bunt attempt by R.J. Devish, who struck out looking his first time, but has responded with 2 singles. As Rutgers finally showing some life on offense. They have 5 runs this game, had only 2 combined in the previous 2 games. Starting to show some energy. Michigan has been showing energy throughout. The 0-1 pitch to Devish bounces. Good stop by Winston to keep Bowerbank put. Bowerbank still listed in the stat broadcast or the stat tracker as being on second base with a double. Bowerbank, the 9-hitter, does carry a little bit of speed. Newtoff with another pickoff attempt. A 1-1 count with 1 on and 1 out. The Scarlet Knights. A bunt attempt by Devish. Looks good, but they're going to let that one go foul. Good move by Lugbauer, who's playing mighty deep, given the situation. But it goes foul. It'll just be a elongated strike 2. Lugbauer playing third as Bivens moves over to shortstop. Michael Berdar, who took a pitch to the chin earlier this week, Tuesday, was sent to the hospital. Perhaps just giving him time to heal, rest, and I guess protect his face. Certainly wouldn't want anything to happen again. The 1-2 pitch, a bouncer. Wenson thought he could have had him. He was ready. Takeo Thomas went over to second, but the pitch was too low. Wenson dropped it and actually went behind him. So there will be no throw. Bowerbank advances on the stolen base. So Rutgers knocking on the door for their 6th run. They have a runner in scoring position with their leadoff hitter at the plate. Devish hitting .378 on the season. He sends that one to Thomas. Thomas fields it, throws it over to Benedetti for the second out of the inning. Bowerbank advances to third. So if Rosa, Gabby Rosa, the shortstop, if he can get on base, really just keep this inning alive, Rutgers will have its 6th run of the game. Rosa hasn't even entered the batter's box. Newtoff already leaning in, waiting for the sign. He wants to get into a rhythm. 2 outs. First pitch on Rosa outside, ball 1. Nice hook, but hooked too far, as they say. Second pitch on Rosa, same spot. Rosa thought about swinging, but held back. Newtoff from the stretch, a 2-0 pitch. And they appeal as Rosa check swings, but he did not go. Bowerbank takes his lead from third, less than 90 feet from scoring. Newtoff from the stretch. Fake bunt attempt, perhaps just to mess with Newtoff. Is pulled back. Going to be ball 4. Rosa reaches on 4 pitches on a walk. Rosa getting his 2nd walk of the game. Last time he got a walk, he came around to score. Just his 15th walk of the season. Rutgers with runners at the corners, down 11-5. That'll bring up Chris Sushek, .291 batting average. 1 for 2 today with a run and an RBI. Also reached on a walk. Got an RBI on a ground out to the second baseman. First pitch he sees is a ball, so Newtoff suddenly struggling with control. Hasn't been an issue too much this season, just 18 walks in 46 innings pitched. Excuse me, that first pitch was actually a strike. Hit the corner. Second pitch, also a strike right there. He's finding that curveball. It'll be 0-2 count on Sushek, who has 17 strikeouts this season. With runners at the corners, Newtoff gets the sign. Kicks, fires, delivers. And it's outside. Tried to get Sushek chasing. No dice. Sushek also has 22 walks this season, so has good plate discipline. Also has good power. 8 extra base hits out of 44 total. The 1-2 delivery. Outside. Even the count at 2. So 2-2 count with 2 outs. Newtoff gets the sign, delivers. His pitch is grounded foul on the third base line. Lugbauer fields it, sends it back to the dugout as the runners retreat to their original bases. Newtoff, as we've said in the past, not one for wasting a lot of time on the mound. He's already back in position, ready to pitch. The 2-2 pitch is high, so that'll bring up a full count. Runnels will be going on the pitch. Wouldn't be surprised to see a first to third pickoff move here. Although Michigan perhaps feeling confident they can get the hitter. Newtoff just a 188 batting average, 2 outs. That pitch is high. So Newtoff has now walked the 2 and 3 hitters after looking like he was in control. So Bowerbank gets a single. Devish is struck out, or grounds out, excuse me. Freeman struck out. And then Rosa and Sushek reach via walk, and that'll bring up Nick Matera, who is 0 for 2 today. Struck out in the first, popped out to right field in the second, and then in the fifth, a sacrifice to the first baseman. Move the runners. We'll have a big opportunity with the bases loaded. But Matera with just a 182 batting average on the season. 250 with the bases loaded, but that, you have to imagine that's a small sample size. Watch it, strike one. The second pitch of the at-bat inside to even the count at 1. Michigan playing for the pull. The center fielder, Bruder, 15 steps to the left. Right fielder, Engelman, playing even with the second to third base line. So if Matera could send something opposite field, he'd certainly have extra bases. Rutgers may be able to clear the bases. And Newtoff, after the first pitch strike, has fired 2 balls, is behind on yet another hitter. Michigan has 2 pitchers warming up in the bullpen. Looks like 2 right-handers. Nope, a right-hander and a left-hander. Too far away to see the numbers. The 2-1 pitch in there for a strike. Oh, what a beautiful curveball. Slid right across the strike zone. And so Newtoff has worked himself into a jam, but is 1 pitch away from getting out of it. Matera steps back into the batter's box. Newtoff gets the sign, kicks, fires, delivers, swing and a miss. He got him. Matera goes down swinging, and Rutgers unable to do any damage after loading the bases. Newtoff gets out of the jam, and Michigan will head to the dugout. It'll be their turn to bat here in the 6th inning. They lead 11-5 here on a Sunday afternoon baseball game. You're listening to the WCBN Sports broadcast of Michigan baseball. WCBN Sports, the official student voice of Michigan athletics. And Dominic Jemet will lead things off. It'll be Jemet, Engelman, Thomas. A pitch hitter. Jemet, the senior, as I said, once was cut from the Wolverines his freshman year under the Rich Maloney era. The former head coach of the Wolverines said, Dom, you can practice with us, but we just don't have a spot for you on the team right now. And so Jemet could have transferred, he could have left, he could have quit, but he stuck with it, practiced with the team, took Maloney to his word. When Maloney left, Eric Bakich came in and liked what he saw from Jemet. Liked not just his ability to hit, but his ability as a leader. He's a very serious, consummate professional, if you talk to Bakich. And Jemet has worked himself into the lineup. He's been in and out throughout his career. But when he is on, when he can see the ball, when he's hitting well, he's hitting about as well as anybody on this Michigan team. His batting average now at .364. He obviously had that 4-for-4 performance on Thursday. Cooled off a little, or Tuesday. Cooled off a little bit on Wednesday and Friday. Came back on Saturday with another multi-hit performance. And he's 1 for 2 today with a run and an RBI. Has driven the ball all 3 times up, popped out to right field twice, a single. One of those pop-outs was a sacrifice fly that drew in a run. Jemet, Engelman, Thomas all have hits today. And Herman will return to the mound. His earned run average down to 278, able to get through that whole inning without giving up any further runs. He allowed the Driscoll's runs to come around to score. 3 runs scored in the bottom of the 5th inning. Herman's first pitch on Jemet outside. Jemet able to spray the field. The right-handed hitters hit 1 to left field and 2 to right field today. Hitting .714 when he's leading off the inning. Calls time. Perhaps wants a break. Take a breath. Prepare. So left-handed Herman. Michigan leading 11-5, looking for more of the second pitch outside, make it a 2-0 count. And you don't see this too often, but it seems like the Ray Fisher Stadium crowd actually growing after softball let out. And it's now 3-0 on Jemet. That pitch is outside. Jemet hasn't had too many at-bats, but has made the most of them. Only 44 at-bats, about 1 per game. 16 hits, 5 runs, 14 RBIs, just 11 strikeouts. 3-0 pitch in there for a strike. Jemet was taken all the way. 4 doubles, 2 home runs, so has the power. Towers at about 6'3", 250 pounds. The 3-1 pitch. Going to be ball 4, just high. Didn't look too bad from up here. But Jemet will advance with a walk. He'll be on base for the second time today. That'll bring up Jonathan Engelman. Engelman, the right fielder, only has 70 at-bats. So similar to Jemet, he hasn't been necessarily an everyday player, but he's been getting a lot of action as of late, in part because his bat's doing well, and in part with some of the shuffling that's occurred, moving Lugbauer in the outfield to third base, while Berdar sits out with what I presume will still be a sore chin. You look at the picture that Eric Bakich tweeted online as Engelman watches strike 1. But Eric Bakich, Michigan's baseball coach, tweeted a picture, and Berdar's chin looked like it had about a baseball-sized swelling on it after Tuesday's game. The 0-1 pitch outside. Jemet not really going anywhere, but taking a strong secondary and drawing the attention of the catcher Matera nonetheless. Engelman and Thomas have a lot of speed, but Jemet, who's on first base, very rare that you'll see him get a stolen base. The 1-1 pitch, Engelman sends it to right center field. If it drops, it's going to be a base hit, and it does. And Marcinjic able to come in quickly. Nice job, credit to him, holding Jemet at second base. But Engelman gets his second base hit of the game. And Michigan threatening once again. 2 runners on, nobody out for a KO Thomas. Thomas 1 for 2 today. Has a lot of speed and a lot of potential. And that's really a big part of why he's been given such a long leash as a hitter this season. 261 batting average. Probably won't get you pulled, but Michigan's offense, better than the average offense. But he's been that starter at second base just about the entire season because he's got a lot of potential. He also gets on base, a 379 on base percentage. Hitting .270 with runners in scoring position. Has an opportunity to improve on that today. The runners on first and second. He attempts a bunt. It's heading down toward third. Freeman able to field it. Sends the throw over to Sushek to get Thomas. Good bunt to advance the runners. That was really his job. I bet if he put a little less power on it, he could have made it as a base hit. He was just a couple steps shy. But, you know, he was asked to advance the runners, and that's exactly what he did. Credit to Thomas for that. It was now 1 for 2 today after the sacrifice. And that'll bring up Jake Bivens, and that's perhaps why Thomas was told to bunt, and it isn't as big a deal that he didn't make it. Because now Jake Bivens, with his .382 batting average, steps up to the plate. There's a free base at first. But I imagine down 6, Herman's going to go right after the leadoff hitter. Herman gets the sign. Infield playing in, trying to preserve the runs. First pitch in there for a strike. Fastball right down the middle. And Matera might not have liked that decision as he goes out to talk to Herman. Bivens, as we've said, 2 for 3 today. Hitting nearly 400 on the season. On base percentage of .466. And that runners in scoring position average .370. So just a good hitter through and through. One of the best. We'll certainly be seeing some Big Ten accolades. He was named Big Ten Freshman of the Year last year. First Wolverine to do so in a decade. Second pitch of the at-bat inside, even the counts at 1. 2 runners in scoring position, just 1 out for the Wolverines. with the top of the order up, trying to tack on to their 11-5 lead. Infield playing in, outfield playing deep, recognizing the power that Bivens can have. Third pitch of the at-bat high, make it a 2-1 count. Bivens has yet to hit a home run this season, but does have 10 doubles and a triple. Slugging percentage of .445, so not necessarily a power hitter, but if he gets a hold of one, it can certainly travel. Got a lot of strength at the top of the order, the Wolverines do. The 2-1 pitch looked inside, but it's going to be called strike 2 as Bivens steps out of the left-hander batter's box to recompose. Ramsey waiting on deck if Bivens can't get the job done. Bivens waits 2-2 pitch. That one's inside, making a full count. Michigan already has 38 runs in this series, but could add to it in a hurry off the bat of Bivens. The full count pitch fouled into the backstop, so Bivens stays alive. Continues to work Herman. Herman closing in on 30 pitches, which is perhaps about as much as you would normally want from a bullpen pitcher. But Herman does have 5 starts this season. He can go the distance, or a few innings if he needs to. Bivens laces that one into right center field, and it is going to be caught by Marcinzik, but it's going to be a sacrifice fly. Jemet advances to second. But Engelman thrown out at third. Heads-up play by the right fielder, so the run does not count. Nice double play by Rutgers to end the 6th inning. Michigan unable to score, but does lead 11-5 here in the 3rd game of a 3-game series. You're listening to the WCBN Sports broadcast. We haven't been able to do much baseball broadcast this weekend. We're a little short-staffed, and I got assigned to softball. Excuse me, the run does count. So Jemet scored before Engelman was thrown out. So it'll be 12-5. Even better for you Wolverine fans listening out there. They now lead by 7. But as we said, Michigan, though we haven't been broadcasting, has been dominant, outscoring the Scarlet Knights 27-2 in the first 2 games of the series, tacking on 12 runs here.
Top of the 9th inning, Illinois 5, Maryland 4. And 5 of the 4th inning, TCU and Penn State are tied at 2. 5 of the 5th inning, Indiana and Minnesota are also tied at 2. Top of the 3rd inning, Northwestern 1, Purdue nothing. 5 of the 4th inning, Ohio State 3, Iowa nothing. And a final from earlier this afternoon over at Alumni Field, Michigan softball as we Rutgers 8-0, 5 innings.
Defense stays the same for the Wolverines. Utah still on the mound, having a chance to redeem himself. Of course, he didn't give up a run, so hard to complain about that. But he did load up the bases with a single and 2 walks. It'll be Marcinzik, Jennings, and Martinez for the Scarlet Knights, the 5, 6, 7 hitters. As clouds are starting to head over this Ann Arbor sky. Had a cloudless day to begin this Sunday. Temperature's still high and sun's still out, so hard to complain. Beautiful day for baseball. Last time Michigan will be hosting a baseball game this season, unless they can really win out and leap into that top 16 of the RPI and end up hosting a regional. I would be very surprised to see that happen. I think they'll likely be traveling when they head to the NCAA tournament. Newtoff, first 3 pitches, balls, 3-0 count on Marcinzik, who is 0 for 2 today, but did reach via walk just 2 innings ago. In the top of the 7th here, Michigan on top 12-5. The 3-0 pitch in there for a strike. Marcinzik was ready to head to first with a walk. Thought it was a ball, but home plate umpire disagreed. Home plate umpire today, John Sapphire, first base, Randy Bachman. And at third base and second base, Scott Inman. And that pitch will be ball 4. So Marcinzik reaches it with his second walk in 3 innings.
Second baseman John Jennings.
Wenson going about halfway between home plate and the pitcher's mound to talk to Newtoff, who's now surrendered 3 walks. So I mentioned that Evan Hill unlikely to be the Sunday starter moving forward. He might have a chance if Newtoff continues to struggle. The two both have been largely good this season, but both have struggled the past 2 Sundays. Last Sunday, Michigan lost to Michigan State in the rubber match. And that first pitch looked good from the press box, but called a ball by Sapphire. And it's Jennings, who is 1 for 3 today. John Jennings has also reached base via error twice. So 2 of Michigan's 4 errors have occurred with Jennings at bat. And he laces that one to left field. Ramsey able to field it to keep Marcinzik at second base, but nice piece of hitting by John Jennings, his second hit today. Jennings with a 267 batting average that'll climb up, perhaps in the 270s. Slugging just 382, so that's about as much power as you're going to see. Nice line drive shot between Bivens and Lugbauer at shortstop and third. Right into left field, just a run-of-the-mill base hit, and that'll bring up Mike Martinez, who's 0 for 3 today with 2 strikeouts and a 204 batting average. So if Newtoff wanted a break in the lineup, this might be it. First pitch, a strike. Nice curveball from the right-hander on the left-handed Martinez. Martinez hitting just 0-40. That's right, 0-for-0 with runners in scoring position. Newtoff with the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss by Martinez. So Newtoff struggled with his control in previous batters, but against Martinez, up 0-2 in the count. Defense playing for the opposite field hit. Newtoff with the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He got Martinez swinging. So Newtoff collecting his 3rd strikeout of his outing so far. That's a big out. The first of the inning for Rutgers as they have 2 runners on, trying to chip into the 7-run deficit they have been spotted. Wolverines with 12 runs today, 39 runs this weekend. Rutgers finally showing some offensive life after being held to 1 run apiece in the first 2 contests. And batting for the Scarlet Knights is Milo Freeman, who is also hitting 204. Is 0 for 3 today with 2 strikeouts, so a little bit of deja vu potentially. Very similar numbers to Martinez. And Martinez went down swinging. Newtoff looking for a similar result. 2 on, 1 out for the Scarlet Knights. Matt Ramsey actually squatting out in left field. Perhaps he'll stand up in time for the play. He's still down there. Interesting approach as Newtoff gets the sign. Freeman struck out last inning. Swing and a miss on the second pitch of the at-bat. 0-2 count. So Newtoff working quickly. It makes you wonder what went wrong at the top of the order when he was walking some of those hitters. Perhaps he was being a little too careful. Better to be too careful than too careless against good hitters. Don't want to send anything that can be driven deep. Marcinzik on second, Jennings on first. The 0-2 pitch tried to get Freeman chasing. No dice. Was able to get Martinez on a similar pitch just 1 batter ago. One-two count on Freeman. Freeman with almost as many strikeouts as hits, 29-33 this season. The 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. He got Freeman swinging for the second out of the inning. So Newtoff showcasing that he still got it. We were worried a little bit as he allowed 5 base runners through the first time through the order, but able to pick up his 4th strikeout of his outing so far. He's pitched 1 2/3 innings, has 4 strikeouts. So other than the ground out to Thomas, all the outs have been via strikeout. Newtoff will face Bowerbank once again, who had a singles last time up just an inning ago. Actually, he has singles in each of the last 2 innings. Score last inning, he only made it to third base. But he's 2 for 3 today. His average has climbed to 262 on the season. First 2 pitches, balls. Bowerbank shorter than most of the Rutgers lineup, so perhaps a smaller strike zone. Has an opportunity to add to Rutgers' run total. Runners on first and second. He's hitting 111 with runners in scoring position, so perhaps a small sample size, but has struggled in past instances. Third pitch outside to make it a 3-0 count. And probably not the guy you want to walk if you're Ryan Newtoff. Fourth pitch of the at-bat in there for a strike. Top of the order waiting. You certainly don't want to load the bases with a free pass. 2 outs, so Newtoff really, if he can force contact, Bowerbank, who doesn't have a lot of extra base hits on the season, could end the inning. The 3-1 pitch outside, so he walked the bases loaded as Wenson comes out once again, perhaps part way, just to talk to Newtoff, trying to minimize the mound visits. Talks to the infield, gives them the signal. With 2 outs, I'd imagine they'd just be playing for the out. But the guy Newtoff probably doesn't want to face right now is R.J. Devish, the designated hitter and leadoff hitter, hitting .376 on the season, is 2 for 4 today as Wenson goes out to provide a full mound visit to give Newtoff the breakdown on Devish, perhaps give him some time to breathe. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Rutgers trying to do some damage here in the top of the 7th inning. You're listening to the WCBN Sports broadcast. WCBN Sports, the official student voice of Michigan Athletics. Zach Shaw with his second broadcast of the day. He was over at Alumni Field just moments ago. I talk in the second person. First pitch on Devish, a strike. And that's really what's important for Newtoff right now, just getting those strikes in there. Rutgers has struggled hitting most of this series. And you might give up a base hit if you throw a strike, but your odds are better if you throw them than if you walk a runner in with the bases loaded. Second pitch on Newtoff outside. Curveball that just kept curving. Make it a 1-1 count. Devish hitting .376 this season, but a .527 on base percentage. .500 batting average with the bases loaded. .423 slugging percentage. Third pitch of the at-bat inside, making a ball. 2-1 count. Some fans showing their disapproval of that call. Looked inside from up here. Newtoff with the 2-1 pitch. That one's in there for a strike in the outside corner. Nice slider by the sophomore. And Newtoff, you have to figure, moving forward, next year will be a pivotal year for him because he most likely will leave early for the draft. I can't imagine that he would stick around. It obviously can depend on where you get drafted. Baseball a little bit more flexible than the NBA and the NFL in those rules. You can return to school until you sign. The 2-2 pitch is grounded up the middle. Going to be a play for Bivens, who flips it over to Thomas to get the out and end to the top of the 7th inning. So a little closer than you would have liked as Newtoff loads the bases for the second inning in a row. But for the second inning in a row, he also escapes the inning with no runs allowed. We enter the bottom of the 7th inning. Michigan leading 12-5. We enter the 7th inning stretch. Nice job by Newtoff, as I was saying before that ground ball. You expect him to be a draft candidate in his junior season. He was an all Big Ten freshman last year. This season looking similar. He hasn't asserted himself as one of Michigan's top 2 pitchers, but I would imagine at this point he's a lock to be the 3rd best. Be that Sunday starter for Michigan's final 2 series, and be that perhaps semifinal pitcher Or maybe he'd come out of the bullpen in the Big Ten tournament. Obviously, different coaches have different approaches. Backett likes to keep his starters as starters in the Big Ten tournament. Last season, it paid off. He had 4 pitchers start, and all 4 of them were able to get wins. As Michigan, who was 8th in the RPI entering that Big Ten tournament, walked away from Minneapolis in the Big Ten tournament victory. They were the 3 seed, so it's not the biggest upset in the world, but they were beating Illinois, which was one of the top 10 teams in the country, and Maryland, which had drawn plenty of rankings after a trip to the College World Series the year before. So 2 very good teams for Michigan, taking them all down, advancing to Louisville, NCAA Regional. And that was a really stacked Big Ten, not quite as talented this season. Last season, over 50 Big Ten players were drafted, most in Big Ten history. A lot of them decided to go, as they perhaps should. Hard to turn down a Major League Baseball contract offer. But Michigan, one of 5 Big Ten teams to make the NCAA tournament last season. Looking in good position to do so, whether they win the tournament or not this season. They'd have to really collapse. They've got 33 wins, trying to get 34. Back here in the field of play, a nice fair ball line drive for Michigan. That was, looks like Ramsey able to get the hit. Benedetti on deck. Nice drive down left field line. Held to a single. Looks like it might have hit the fence. They'll bring up Carmen Benedetti. Benedetti popped out to left field last time. Good piece of hitting. And of course, Benedetti is 3 for 4 today with 3 RBIs. Excuse me, Benedetti had the double. It's Wenson that had the line out. First pitch fouled toward Michigan's dugout. Benedetti, a likely candidate to get drafted this season as well. He's an all Big Ten player last season. Hitting a cool .349 this season. He drives that one to center field. Center fielder Martinez going back, but he's able to make the catch about 370 feet away from home plate. So Benedetti took it for a ride, but he'll settle for being 3 for 5 today, as that brings up Harrison Wenson. Wenson's had a breakout season this year as the catcher, and we've seen that a few times from Michigan catchers. We saw Cole Martin really thrive in his junior and senior season. Obviously, Kendall Patrick came on real strong, especially toward the postseason play last year. And Harrison Wenson, who's been waiting a long time, he really had to wait his turn to start. He'll take his turn. He'll ground into a double play. So Rutgers will end the 7th inning. Nice footwork by Jennings to Rosa to Susek. And Wenson's tough day continues. He's now 0 for 4. His batting average dropping into the 330s now, which I guess speaks to the successful season that he's had. His batting average entry conference play was close to 380. Oh, we enter the 8th inning of the senior day matchup. Michigan playing at home for the final time. They'll travel to Illinois and Ohio State in the future. I would expect them to win both series, as they are one of the top teams in the Big Ten. Entered today, 1 game back in the Big Ten standings behind Minnesota. Minnesota and Indiana, the 2nd best team in the Big Ten. They're battling each other up in Minneapolis. So they probably won't move into first place today because both teams can't lose. Indiana a half game ahead of Michigan. So if they win and Minnesota loses, Michigan will move into 2nd in the Big Ten, and they'll be a half game back. But nonetheless, with the 3-game series left against Illinois and Ohio State, both about middle of the pack in the Big Ten, they're trying to eke their way into the Big Ten tournament this season. Had a lot of talent, both teams did last year. A little bit of a down year for them, but they certainly have the players to take down Michigan, especially hosting the Wolverines. But if Michigan can win both of those series, they can enter the Big Ten tournament with just under 40 wins. If they sweep, they'll be into 40 wins. But I think 38 is probably not necessarily an automatic, but the magic number for Michigan to clinch the tournament. I think if they win out, if they win the Big Ten and they win those two final series 3-0, I would imagine that they're hosting a regional as the 21st ranked team in the country today. They can slide up those rankings with a lot of wins, but I would be surprised if they were able to pull that off. This team is good, and they can make some noise, and they can beat just about anybody in the country as they have 2 top 25 victories in 4 attempts. But it is a team that has some holes and has struggled. Just looking at Michigan's schedule. Enter today 33-12. And though today is senior day, it looks like Michigan has added a game against Oakland. They weren't originally scheduled to play them, I believe, but they added it in for the midweek game on Tuesday, May 17th. So, baseball fans, you'll have one opportunity to come back out and see your Wolverines at home on May 17th. You can also travel to Mount Pleasant. They have a Wednesday game this coming Wednesday at Mount Pleasant. They have a nice baseball facility as well. We're going to have a new pitcher for the Wolverines. It's going to be Brian Paul. Paul was the closer for much of the season. His ERA has ballooned to 4.03. He's given up 21 hits and 22 in the 3rd innings pitch. He's 2-1 with 3 starts. And he'll face Rosa, Sushek, and Matera, the 2-3-4 hitters. First pitch, a ball. Second one in there for a strike on Rosa, who has 2 walks and a double today. Hitting .333 when leading off an inning. But back to Michigan's schedule. At Central versus Oakland. I would imagine they win both of those games. They've been pretty consistent in the midweek game. So that puts them at 35. And then they take on Ohio State and Illinois. I think they can win 2 games in both. So that gives you 6 wins, and that'll put them right at 40. I think that's in good shape. If they can get 42 and then get a few at the Big Ten tournament, that changes things. As Paul strikes out Rosa. Rosa unhappy with himself, throwing the bat around, walking a little bit with his head down. As time is running out for the Scarlet Knights, who are down 12-5 in the top of the 8th inning. Just 5 outs away from getting swept by the Wolverines here in Ann Arbor. As the wind picks up, as you can perhaps hear on our microphone, Chris Sushek steps up to the plate. Sushek 1 for 2 today with 2 walks. So similar to Rosa, he's been doing a nice job getting on base, getting around the bases, even scoring. First 2 pitches from Paul are balls on Sushek. Sushek sits in with a 2-0 count. Paul's ERA lowers to 3.97 with that out. The 1-1 pitch from Paul. Swing and a miss. Making a 1-2 count. Cooling off a little bit here in Ann Arbor as the clouds come over and the wind picks up. Temperatures reached into the 70s, perhaps lower than that now. Sushek skies that one to shortstop. Bivens camps out under it, but has to move around as it is moving with the wind. But he makes the catch. So 2 outs. The Scarlet Knights here in the top of the 8th inning. A little surprised that they went with Paul rather than some of the seniors. Perhaps adding that Oakland game changes the scope of it. No longer senior day for the baseball team. Softball did have their senior day. Their regular season is done. They completed the season with a 44-4 record. Of course, I was broadcasting that game earlier today. You can listen to that on our YouTube channel. clinched the outright championship of the Big Ten for the 9th consecutive time and the 19th time that I've been alive. As that ball is grounded to Lugbauer, sent to Benedetti. So Paul comes in, makes quick work of the Scarlet Knights, even the 2, 3, 4 hitters struggling today. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Michigan on top, 12-5. You're listening to the WCBN Sports broadcast of Michigan baseball. WCBN Sports, the official voice, official student voice of Michigan athletics. I'm getting ahead of myself there, calling it the official voice of Michigan athletics. That's IMG, of course. But we always provide the student voice, and if you like what you hear, feel free to subscribe, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to us on YouTube. If you don't like it, well, let me know what I can do differently. Obviously, we're a student broadcast, so we're students of the game, just as the student athletes are students of their game. So always trying to improve, always trying to get better. So feel free to comment, tweet at us, let us know what we can do differently as we continue to try to bring you some of the best student broadcasting in the nation. Not quite there yet, but we'll get there. Just you wait. Going to be a new pitcher for Rutgers. It's going to be Christian Campbell, whose numbers do not suggest much success. He has a .626 earned run average, 1-3 record, no starts. Has given up 27 hits and 10 walks in just 23 innings for a whip of 161. Leadoff hitters are hitting .375 off of him. And he'll have a tough task. He'll be facing Bruder, Lugbauer, and Jamette, who are combined 6 for 9 today. So some of the hottest hitters in Michigan's lineup facing a very beleaguered Rutgers bullpen. They've had a lot of action in this series, as I've said. Has given up 39 runs. And that's about as much as you can ask for Eric Backus, but I think he's going to ask for a couple more, at least some quality at bats. You want to stick to the fundamentals of the game, even though you're up big. You never know what can happen in baseball. You still want to stay strong. They've got some series against some tougher opponents moving forward. Obviously, Ohio State, Illinois, below Michigan in standing, but can always bring some good competition. And just to give you a look at the Big Ten standings, Minnesota entered today 12-4, Michigan 11-5. I said Indiana 12-5 in there as well. So pretty close to the top. Michigan State 2 games back, as is Nebraska. And then Maryland, Penn State, and Ohio State round out that top 8 that would make the Big Ten tournament. Penn State having an up year after struggling mightily last year. Of course, they've only won 2 of their last 10 games. Campbell's first pitch fouled away. Bruder, 2 for 3 today. Also has a walk. Has scored 2 runs. Struck out in the 4th inning for his lone sore spot at the plate. Already down 0-2 on Campbell. Campbell winds up for the 0-2 pitch. That's fouled away toward Ferry Field by Bruder. Bruder hitting .373 on the season. That one went off a car as the crowd oohs and ahs. Someone's going to have a dent. My car is parked several blocks away at my house, so if you were wondering, I'll be safe. The 0-2 pitch from Campbell. That one's skied toward right field. Marcinczyk camps out under it, able to catch it for the first out of the inning. That one went really high, though. Hard to keep track of it with some of the light gray skies. But nonetheless, that brings up Drew Lugbauer, who is 3 for 4 today. A candidate alongside Carmen Benedetti for player of the game. Perhaps if he can get a hit here, he'll move into contention. All of his hits have been singles, though, so Benedetti's got the extra base power today. First pitch on Lugbauer, a strike. And I imagine, although I didn't talk to the Rutgers coaches, I imagine the game plan for Campbell is just throw strikes and hope stuff lands in your defender's mitts. He's not necessarily going for the strikeouts. He has just under a strikeout an inning, but seems to be going right after these pitchers. Second pitch on Lugbauer, a ball. So I might have spoken too soon. Lugbauer hitting .323 on the season with a .516 batting average, or excuse me, .516 slugging percentage. There we go. The 1-1 pitch outside. Decent frame job by Matera, but no good. Two count now on Lugbauer. Campbell gets the sign, winds up, kicks, fires, delivers. That one's outside, bounces away to make it a full count. That ball's driven foul by Lugbauer toward Yost Ice Arena on the third base side. And Lugbauer reaches via walk. And that pitch got away from the catcher Matera too. And just to give you some perspective on what kind of weekend it has been here at the Wilpon Baseball and Softball Complex. Softball outscored Rutgers in 3 games, 28-2. And the baseball team has done its job as well, outscoring Rutgers 39-7. So lots of offense and lots of good defense. Next up is Jamet, who sends that one to right field. Looks like it's going to be caught. Got under it a little too much. Lugbauer heads back to first base. So 2 down in the bottom of the 8th inning. Michigan's potentially their last at bat, unless their bullpen totally collapses. And that will bring up Jonathan Engelman, who sends the first pitch foul on the right field side. Engelman, 2 for 4 today with a run and an RBI. Seems like just about everyone's had some action. Harrison Wenson, Michigan's best hitter, the only hitter that doesn't have a base hit today. He's 0 for 4. The 0-1 pitch, high and outside on Engelman. Wouldn't expect Lugbauer to be going anywhere, given not only the circumstances, but Lugbauer is the fastest player on the team. First couple years of Eric Backage's tenure here at Michigan, they did a lot of small ball, a lot of bunting, and a lot of running, and it worked okay. But as the personnel switched from Rich Maloney's smaller and faster players to some of these bigger hitters, they've switched to a more traditional offense. It's Campbell working from the stretch. The right-hander gets the sign, kicks, fires, delivers. And the 2-1 pitch called a strike on Engelman. Two count on the right fielder. Campbell gets the sign, comes to set position, kicks, fires, delivers. That one's high. And it seems a little interesting because Matera, the catcher, keeps looking over at first. But I really don't think Lugbauer's going anywhere. They've got a 7-run lead. It's the bottom of the 8th. Lugbauer, he's got some wheels, but he's not winning any stolen base awards. And there's 2 outs. Nonetheless, a full count on Engelman. The payoff pitch. Engelman sends it over to second base. Scooped by Rosa, who sends it over to Sushek. to end the 8th inning. But nonetheless, Michigan now just 3 outs away from a sweep of Rutgers. They lead this one 12-5. You're listening to the WCBN Sports broadcast of Michigan baseball and Cinderella Man playing, which means that we're going to see what I believe is not Brian Paul. I'll get a new picture for you momentarily. Michigan 3 outs away from its 34th victory of the season. And the Wolverines in general closing in on another 6-0 weekend here at home. We've seen a couple of those, and we've seen a couple of 5-1 weekends, which you certainly take as well. That'll be Jackson Lamb, the pitcher, as you heard from the PA announcer. The Temperance native, went to Bedford High School, standout pitcher in that SEC Red. Your broadcaster once had to face him, did not fare so well. Hit a ground ball, and they got a hit by pitch. But Lamb has done well so far this season. A 1.17 ERA, hasn't pitched a whole lot. Just 7.2 innings pitched, does have 2 saves, so it's kind of supplanted Paul as the closer. Not a save situation here, with Michigan up 7. But Michigan keeping its bullpen active. I'd imagine Cam Waisaki's out there. If he's going to pitch today, it'd have to be soon. It'll be Marcinzik, Jennings, and Martinez, the 5, 6, 7 hitters for Rutgers. And their final at-bats here in Ann Arbor, unless they can get some damage done in a hurry. They need 7 runs just to keep this game alive. And Michigan, honoring its seniors, does have 1 home game left. They added a home game against Oakland on May 17th. So if you're interested in coming out to see them one final time, you'll have that opportunity in just over a week and a half. But back here on this beautiful Sunday afternoon, Michigan looking to close out another win. They've won 5 straight after dropping the series to Michigan State. They are on the verge of a 5th straight victory. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. First pitch on Marcinzik, a ball. Lamb in the windup. That ball's sent towards center field. If it drops, it may be trouble. And Bruder makes a diving effort, unable to do so. It goes into the fence. Marcinzik rounding second, heading toward third. He's going to be in there without a throw. And so just to catch you up to speed, a very well hit ball, a well-deserved extra base hit. But Bruder went for the dive and struggled a little bit to get up. He was able to track it down at the wall, but it looked like he slipped on the warning track. That warning track is made of turf, after all. This is an all-turf field except for the pitcher's mound, as the Wolverines try to minimize their weather-delayed or weather-shortened games. They did have 1 home game canceled this season because of snow. Hard to stop that. That'll bring up John Jennings with the runner on third. Jennings has reached all 4 times, been up to the plate. Only 2 for 4, though. Has reached with 2 errors. Big swing and a miss on Lamb's first pitch of the at-bat. And Lamb, we didn't quite get to introduce him fully, but he's got a fastball that can teeter into the 90s. Large, 6'6" frame. Very skinny, though. So lots of long limbs that can bend and contort. A lot of room to build muscle and build up on that fastball. Second pitch of the at-bat. Swing and a miss by Jennings. But Lamb came in as the top prospect for Michigan. Top prospect out of the state of Michigan just a couple years ago. The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He got Jennings swinging. And Michigan now 2 outs away from a sweep. But Lamb came in as the top prospect from the state of Michigan. But struggled a little bit. He was in the outfield and then a bullpen pitcher his first year. Struggled through some shoulder injuries. Last season, he missed it all due to a broken clavicle. Tough blow to the sophomore, but now he's back He's a redshirt sophomore. And another player similar to Newtoff, he's kind of on the rise, and Bivens, that sophomore class is really doing a lot of things. First pitch a ball on the pinch hitter, Sclafani, Carmen Sclafani, hitting 208 on the season, just 192 with runners on. Only has 53 at-bats, 15 strikeouts, 11 hits, 11 runs. Has come in as a pinch runner as well, has some speed. Second pitch, a ball, 2-1 count. But Lamb, one of those players where if he can build up some of that muscle, work on the second and third pitches, he might find himself in draft territory, just given how fast he can throw the ball and his large frame. Always an intriguing scout. Swing and a miss by Sclafani. That one hit 87. Sclafani in a 2-2 count with one out and a runner on third. Still a little bit of action in Michigan's bullpen. One pitcher warming up. But most of the Wolverines back in the dugout. Wolverines sporting their maize jerseys. Swing and a miss. Lamb got Sclafani swinging. So that's 2 strikeouts and 2 outs. And Bakich coming out to talk to Lamb. I don't know. He might have hurt himself on that pitch. I'd have to look and get a replay on it as the trainer heads out too. And that's tough to see for a player that has been hurt so much throughout his career and has such a long, skinny frame. Every time he bends over or winces, you worry just a little bit. Is he re-aggravating something? Is something getting torn? Because he is also such a violent pitcher. Fastball. But he does have 2 strikeouts today. So I imagine if he can pitch, Bakich is going to let him stay in. Trainer undergoing tests. Lamb walking, so it's not a leg issue, and he doesn't seem to be in severe pain. Like, I don't think he tore anything. I think he just might have hurt a finger or something like that. The whole infield gathering in now. And he'll have a chance to. He'll come out of the game as the bench comes to greet him. So faced 3 batters, gave up a triple and 2 strikeouts. And I'm not sure exactly who Michigan's going to bring out to the mound. It looks like it's going to be Carmen Benedetti, who's also had some closer time. But, of course, he has been playing first base this game. So Michigan will have to add a defensive replacement. And they didn't necessarily plan on it, so we'll see what they do. But Benedetti, the left-hander, and we talk about his hitting and how he might be a draft prospect this season for hitting, but he's not a bad pitcher in his own right. We'll get some numbers on him for you in just a second. Michigan 1 out away from a series sweep over Rutgers.
Now in the game, the third base, number 24, Hector Gutierrez.
Just to give you some numbers on Benedetti, the left-hander has a 2.51 ERA, and in 14 1/3 innings pitched, he has 16 strikeouts, just 4 earned runs, 6 hits, and 11 walks for a WHIP of 121, which is, I'd say it's pretty good. It's not dominant, but you know he's been reliable. He's been reliable for a few seasons now, just coming in and getting the job done. He has some speed on his fastball, but his curveball is what really racks into those strikeouts. Michigan still leading 12-5 here in the top of the 9th inning. Rutgers down to their final out. Benedetti trying to close the door on this series.
For Rutgers, number 28, Tyler McNamara.
And it'll be the pinch hitter, Tyler McNamara, who's hitting 167 on the season, just 1 for 6. First pitch by Benedetti, high and outside. Second pitch got McNamara swinging. 1-1 count, 2 outs. Fans starting to show some noise, standing and clapping, understanding how close they are to a series sweep. Two-one count on McNamara. And he kicks, fires, delivers. That one's outside to make the count 3-1. Softball won 8-0 earlier today over Rutgers. Benedetti looking to do the same as he walks McNamara. Benedetti will take his time, circling the pitcher's mound. Still 1 out away from victory, but now 2 runners on for Rutgers.
Number 15, Kyle Walker.
Be another pinch hitter. This one, Kyle Walker, instead of Bowerbank, which I kind of disagree with. Bowerbank's had a good game so far. So let's go Blue Chants emerging from here in the crowd at Ray Fisher Stadium for a win on senior day. First pitch on Walker, in there for a strike. Walker with a 135 batting average, just a 250 on base percentage. He has 37 at-bats, just 5 hits, just 1 double for extra bases. He has 12 strikeouts. Second pitch, in there for a strike. Nice hook by Benedetti. And the crowd's starting to feel it now. They're 1 pitch away from the sweep of Rutgers and becoming 34-12. Benedetti gets the sign. He comes to a set from the stretch formation. Here's the pitch. It's on its way. It's good. Walker doesn't swing, but he goes down anyways. And Michigan gets its sweep over Rutgers. They win by a score of 12-5 here at Ray Fisher Stadium. And Michigan didn't quite have the pitching dominance and defense that they did in the first 2 games when they outscored Rutgers 27-2. But they get the win nonetheless, and they scored 39 runs in games. So an average game, you might want to sit down for this number, 13-2, an average game against Rutgers in this series. And they all started out kind of slowly. Michigan able to tack on 6 runs in the first few innings here. But those first 2, it seemed like it was a close game, close knit, and then they kind of worked through that starter. And then they exploded for 7 runs in the 5th or 4 runs in the 6th, and so on and so on. And you know, I guess that just speaks to Michigan's plate discipline and intelligence in the lineup, able to make the adjustments and able to find ways to get hits even if the bats aren't there right away. 8 of Michigan's 9 starters get hits today. Harrison Wenson, the lone hitless Wolverine. And that'll do it here today on a beautiful Sunday. You've now heard 2 broadcasts of Michigan dominant victories. Michigan wins this one 12-5. Softball won just a couple hours ago, 8-0. And I'm going to go home and get some water and some food. I've had a great time broadcasting both of these games. It's always a good time here at the Wilpine Baseball and Softball Complex. For WCBN Sports, we hope to get more broadcasts in this season. But for now, for Orion Sang and Bethlehem Ashame, and for the team at WCBN Sports, I'm Zach Shaw, and I'm going to leave you with a good night and a Go Blue.